Greetings, salutations. First of all, let me make sure you guys can hear me. Press ones. Press ones. I need to see some ones. Make sure you guys can hear me before we get started. We won't be long at all today, actually. Yes, make sure you guys can hear me. I just want to see a couple of ones. Anybody type of one? Make sure you guys can hear me. Okay. Hey, Miss Lynn. So, it's been an amazing week. I've been working like crazy, out of town and in town, work a day job, go back out and everything else. So I was like, man, should I even do this show? And then my computer's down. This is another computer I'm using. It's not as powerful as my main computer. And so some of the bells and whistles you're normally used to seeing, you will not see tonight, but we have a lot to discuss anyway. Probably don't need it. But yeah, just giving you a heads up. If it starts to get choppy or whatever, then I'm just gonna make sure I do something else and continue with the show. I'm gonna try to give you the best show I got here, but we got a lot to talk about because you guys been talking about it. You guys been talking about it, and some people have asked me, and I told Brent, our drummer, I said I'm not gonna talk about it, but I decided to because so many of you asked me to talk about it, and so tonight, because my system is not going to hold up for a whole shindig, we're going to talk about this Kanye and this anti-Semitism and everything else. And I want you guys to join in. You know, if you want to come on and have your say, I will try to get you on here. Let's see what happens. But I'm going to try to move through this thing. But let's start off with something fun, okay? Because with all the things that's been going on with our country and everything else. Now, let me flip this. I think you should vote. Vote your conscience. That's all I would say on that. Vote your conscience. But this, yeah, it's getting real heated up, and I think it's going to get probably a whole lot worse in the next couple of weeks. But vote your conscience, okay? But anyway, y'all know how I always say pause, 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 pause. And I say pause is something you will hear mostly in sports and in church. We've heard the church pause last week. But this was sent to me, and I said, okay, I'm going to open the show with this because this is such a super duper major pause that you guys have to see this. This is going to blow your mind. Check this out.
You have to like when there's a guy coming right in your face and he just sits in there and delivers it really well. You have to like when there's a guy coming right in your face and he just sits in there and delivers it really well.
You have to like when a guy is blanking in your face and you sit there. You tell me, is that not a super duper pause moment on TV for everybody to see? And so those of us, we sitting there watching it, and those of us that catch what pauses are, we sitting there like, they really listen. You can hear so many pause moments on TV, but mostly in church you gonna hear a pause moment. But I thought that was crazy. I said, "Oh no! I have to share that one for everybody because that's crazy." Now you tell me, is that not a pause? You just say yes or no. Is that not a pause? Okay. Now my friend posted this. I told her I was going to touch on this a little bit before we get going. She posted this comment. She said, I'm always seeing posts saying not to give a man wife privilege, not to give a man wife privileges before you become his wife. Thank you, Jason. In other words, if y'all just boyfriend, girlfriend, treat the situation as such, whatever that is. I need to know what to you are wife privileges, because sometimes y'all confuse me with that. I want answers from men and women. And I told her I would share this today. But let me tell you what wife privileges are from a man. There are two important things to a man, and those two things are his time and his resources. His time and his resources. Most people know men is very difficult for some of us, not all of us, not even most, but difficult for us to express those kind of emotions that most women want from us. The stuff you see in movies and everything else, you want that. And I get it, but not every man's going to do that. But a man who values you is going to give you his two most important things. What up, Christopher? And that's his time and his financial resources or access to those resources almost limitless. If you are dealing with a man that's in the top 10%, you know, he's making 100,000 or more, 90,000 or more, and he's spending significant money on you. Those, to me, are wife privileges. Those are things that you would share with your wife. Spending significant resources on your girlfriend that doesn't share your last name, I think that's up to that man. But he's under no obligation in any relationship to do that. Wife privileges, we have today modern women that believe that they should receive these benefits from men that they are not married to. They think that they are deserving of those benefits, which is kind of a sense of entitlement. That's not going to go on this show today. But when you are dealing with wife privileges, that means a man is giving you privileges that he would give his wife: his money, his time, access to his resources, access to his home, unlimited access to everything he has. You don't deserve those unless you are his wife. I think we have messed this thing up because we've been giving each other privileges that should be deemed to your husband or your wife. For a woman, what are husband privileges? We already know what that is, but unfortunately, society has told you that you can be liberated in that. And we keep telling you every time you do, that's a problem, but you don't want to listen. Y'all can tell me if you believe or if you agree with me or not, but I think that those are the things that you wanted to know what wife privileges are. To me, when I consider wife privileges, those are it. Yeah, it's birth entitlement. Absolutely scrutinized. It is that. But I wanted to share this because, Mecca, I understand that you wanted to know, but those are wife privileges. I think a relationship should blossom into that. But like I said, I think society has told you that even as boyfriend, girlfriend, you're here today, going tomorrow. And see, the thing is about marriage is at least there is some financial security there, because if you leave, there is something that happens when you leave. It is some benefit. But society has messed everything up. So now we getting everything. Men get children. Our legacy continues, assuming that you even want to give the child my last name. We get everything from you. And I was just telling a friend this yesterday. I said, if you give us everything that you have to offer, how does it benefit a man to be married? Because men, before we marry, we are thinking these things. See, we are logical. We're saying it's going to cost this much. This is going to be this. This is going to be this. So we have to sacrifice our time, our space, our freedom. We give up a whole lot. You get to move in. If you are a traditional woman, yeah, you can say, well, I'm cooking and cleaning. But the modern man knows how to do that now. So we don't really need you for that. But I don't want to go all into that. But you wanted to know what a wife privilege is? That's those you have access to everything we have without our last name. we're giving you keys to our house. We're giving you keys to our car. You're getting a bank account. It's in our name, but you have access to our cards. You have access to everything. Well, what if he broke? Well, you chose him. This doesn't apply to you, ma'am. Okay, so I hope that you can understand that. But I did see something before we move on. This bothered me because we're going to talk about something today with Kanye that I've been seeing, and I hope that you guys will understand where I'm going with it. But I think we really, really need to watch what's happening on social media. Because with Elon Musk or whatever his name is, Musty, whatever his name is, by him purchasing Twitter and saying, I'm going to open it back up for free speech, you open it up for a whole lot of things that normally you would be banned for. So I saw this. So base case scenario is that sex spousal privilege. So you think most men would be okay with that? I think if it's a man that's really into you, he's really into you, he would respect your boundaries. He would respect your boundaries. And if that's what you are doing. Now, having said that, you could not have been a strumpet your whole life and then decide at the very end, oh, I'm going to be a celibate till I'm married. I mean, that's going to come across very, very jacked up. But that's up to that man. But most men, like myself, if you were to say, hey, I think we should wait until marriage to do that, I would be okay with that. I would be okay. I would respect you enough to do that. But that's not every man, but choose better. Okay? But anyway, I wanted you guys to check this out because if this does not upset you, especially my sisters, I don't know what will. Here we go. So here's a picture of a young lady. If you look, a strumpet, yeah. Strumpet, that's another word y'all can take. A black woman is speaking, listen and learn. Now, the t-shirt says that. Now, I've seen this t-shirt on Amazon or whatever. I'm not sure if this is a t-shirt. It actually kind of looks photoshopped. But nevertheless, this is the t-shirt that was presented. What up, Antoine? And so when I saw this, I said, okay, this is something that I don't have a problem with it. Well, I do, but not in where it was posted. I don't know why they wanted to do it, why they posted it here. But then when I saw the comments, check this out. Look at the first picture. You see the face. A black woman is speaking, unintelligible, screeching. And then it said, I don't remember paying for a zoo ticket. Why am I seeing this animal? We have to listen because she's talking to someone on the phone, and that phone call is on speakerphone. Now, this was posted. How is this allowed to be said and nobody's monitoring? If I had $1 for every time somebody said something to me despicable like this, I would be rich right now with Elon. But this is what's been happening, and this is before. I want to show you because we're going to get to somewhere in the end. But it gets worse. Check this out. Black woman is yelling in public for no reason. I believe it's Photoshop. Big mama energy. I get that. But that is not for this to be said by people who are not us. And it's in the comfortability of being able to have free speech should never be in this way. Because this is flat out racist, what they're saying to this young lady. We may not like it as men. We may think it come across as masculine and aggressive and combative. We understand that. But this right here, what's going on right here is despicable because it started going again. Days without having to look at an obese black woman. 0. Now, mind you, these are not us posting it, fellas. These are not us posting it. These people don't look like us. Look at this. Look at this. Can you tell me how to survive on food stamps? This is what's being said. Now, this is being posted. This is free speech. I bet she asks. See, I know how to say ask. You have to practice it, especially when you're doing plural asks. I mean, that's crazy, but you have to do it. But see, because why? And I know sometimes I show my Gary here. I show it doesn't change my intellect, but I do show that here. But at the very end of the day, when I'm at work and I'm really, really thinking, I can talk real crazy. Hi, how are you? I mean, but that's what they understand fine, whatever. But at the very end of the day, this should not go on. This is despicable. Scrimps, she loved her some seafood. They're allowed to do this. I feel like having a loud conversation in public. And then I'll yell at whoever asks me to keep it down. Yelling and clapping isn't something I listen to. I say as I listen to Boom Snap Clap by Irish Front. Still more coherent than anything she'll say, I promise that. Learn what? How to be loud and obnoxious? And then this person says Wakanda forever. This is what's being posted. This is your freedom of speech. Did I post that already? Yeah. That is your freedom of speech. And so this is where we're headed, where certain people are allowed with no consequence to say whatever they want about you and I that look like this. But the second you even breathe at somewhere else, it turns into a powder keg. We're going to get there, but I want to see the reason why this is so important, because this goes in line of what I'm going to get into. Yes, I'm going to go at Kanye. Yes, I'm going to educate you. But at the very end of the day, we're going to switch this thing, because one thing I don't like is hypocrisy. I do not like it. I hate it with every point of my being. And when I saw this posted, and here's the thing, it doesn't matter to Meta, Twitter now, or anywhere else. When you report stuff like this, they don't do anything. But the second you so much as say, I don't want to go there. I'll go there later. They can't expose themselves because they have everything backing them scrutinized. I get what you're saying. And I'm not saying I disagree with you, but at the very end of the day, if they have everything behind them, we don't have anything behind us. And I'm going to get there too. Oh, I'm going to bless y'all. I needed to bring some water in here. I don't know why I ain't bringing water in my studio. Okay? But anyway, we're going to have some fun tonight before we get there. I don't know why I put this chat here. This chat shouldn't go here. This chat actually should move. Wait, we're going to move chat. Y'all going to see me do some production right here tonight. See that? Production. I'm cool with them making fun of me. But if they got to catch some sane smoke and cry in return. And that's what I'm saying. Jay, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, you can do it, but the second you do it, it's a problem. You cannot say anything. There is absolutely no consequence. This is despicable. And now with Twitter, I was just on there earlier today, and I wanted to see what was going to happen. Man, listen, when I got on Twitter today, I can promise you the things that they were saying on Twitter was amazing. It's almost like every neo-racist in the world decided to post what they felt like on Twitter with impunity. They were able to say what they wanted to say and get away with it. And I'm sitting here like, is somebody going to monitor this? Listen, there is a thing called freedom of speech. I get that. But when your freedom of speech, with everything that you say, should have a consequence. But it's like when you say things about a certain people, there is an immediate consequence, even if that's not what you're saying. But the second you say something about a certain person, there's nothing done. It's like, okay, so what are you having for breakfast tomorrow? That's amazing. Preacher's Gone Wild 49. Now remember 50, we're going to have fun with it. 50, we're going to have fun with it. Now today the theme is musicians and singers. Again, because you guys have been sending me some of the wildest things. I even got some for next week. After next week. But it is crazy how in church musicians are always called to the carpet when we jack up, or singers. But I saw something that we're going to get to later. But that's going to blow your mind. You've probably seen it. But I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this. Now, I want you guys to tell me if you agree with what's going to be said here. Here we go.
I said we may not have no musicians, but when it's all said and done, we got hands. We got got some teeth. We got some tambourine. And we gonna praise God without no musician. Because if they ain't right, God don't want that on no instrument. I don't care who they are. If they ain't right, they ain't right. They said, you do talk. I said, that's all right. I'm going to be taught for what's right. We will have the service of the Lord with no musician because they're going from church to church, women to women, bar to bar, and on Sunday want to get on the instrument and praise the God that is holy. It is right. I don't care whose family they are. That don't mean a thing to me should make me. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It is right. So we ain't got none. But that's all right, we still crazy. Crazy, because there's going to be some true hands out there. There's going to be some true foot out there. Nobody on the instrument, but that's all right. True praise. That's what I'm going to offer you. Not just from my lips, but from my heart. So they don't like seeing me coming. Because when I come, I say order. And it isn't going to be God's order. I don't want no part to do with it. Praise the Lord.
So tell me what you think of that. Tell me what you think. I think that that's let me say this. If you are preaching like that, you need to keep that same energy when you are the focal point. When somebody's preaching about some of the stuff that you may do, and you most likely will do, you need to keep that same energy. Keep that same, yeah, Joe, he needed that pause. He needed that pause, bro. But you need to keep that same energy. I feel like when you're going at people in a certain way, and I make sure the people that I'm leading, I have a level where I won't cross. It's a line that I won't cross. I mean, it's where I'm never going to treat you like a child. I'm never going to yell at you. I'm going to talk to you always as men. I work with children. I know how to talk to children. And I make sure I don't talk to adults like children, even though it's hard to tell the difference sometimes. Because some of you behave like children. You act and you move like children, but I'm still going to respect you and treat you like a man. Having said that, I believe there should be some standard when it deals with musicians. I don't believe you should be able to do everything and then come and play. But we are what you allow, preachers. If you know your musicians is out here foul and you give them, I believe you should give everybody a level of grace. But it's the difference between grace and just flat out, turning the blind eye to it. You know, where you're just blinded. You don't want to see it. That la 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 la, where you just absolutely, somebody's telling you, and you just don't want to hear it. It's the difference. And I think that's what's happened so much where, you know, musicians, because they're so great, you don't hold them to a standard. So when somebody preaches like this, you know, some of us are upset and we're saying, oh, no, you shouldn't preach like that. I personally don't like this form of preaching. I believe it's kind of aggressive to me. And I just say, hey, to those preachers who like to preach like this, keep that same energy when you fall and be ready to take this kind of bluntness. So I agree to an extent what he was saying. I just don't necessarily agree with the delivery. Tell me what you think. Oh, yeah, I agree with you, Nancy. Collect cell phones. But this was on their show. This is actually their camera from their service. So, you know, I mean, they wanted this to be aired. So it is what it is. But anyway, I need you guys to check this out because just tell me what you think because I don't have any words.
He's able. 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 Keep you. He's able. In perfect peace. He's able. He's able. He's able. Don't give up on God, no matter what you're faced with. Oh, don't give up on God. You just keep on pressing forward. Keep on moving forward. Don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. He's able.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Tell me what you think. I mean, to me, that was crazy. He was all over the place. Musicians, fellow keyboard players, if you don't know the song, just don't play it. If you don't know the song well enough to play it in excellence, don't play it. If you are not hired to play keyboards, don't play it. Don't run up there to play just thinking you're helping them out. When the man threw the Thanos thing on you, the fist, you should have just, I think you should have just, hey, I'm done. I did the best I could. Because when I saw that, I said, oh God, this is horrible. I mean, has that ever happened to you where you just did not know the song and they asked you to play? So those of you, oh wait, I don't have the what. You want a what? Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? There's your what. There you go. I gave you a what. Anytime y'all want me to play one of my many things, just let me know what you need to see to make it happen. Oh wait, I gotta do it for you, Etwine. Where is it? What? But anyway, yeah, I think I know that's happened to me. And bass players, I think Jay can probably attest to this. When bass players mess up, you hear it all over. It rings through the system. It rings everywhere. Everybody knows it because you slide into the and it stands out. So I personally, if I don't know the song and you ask me to play it, I ask you, what song is it? And if you say this song, if I don't know that song, man, I think that's a good time for you to bow out. I don't know the song, bro. I'm not playing it. And so I don't think that should have happened. But it wasn't the worst.
I will bless him with my spirit. I will praise him with my soul. I will say, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. With my whole heart, I will bless him with my spirit. I will praise him with my soul. I will say, praise the Lord, 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 praise the Lord.
Lord God, have mercy on our souls. Don't you dare touch them rolls. What in the world? But see, let me explain this to you. Now, y'all are going to laugh, and I really, really, really don't care. But check this out, everybody. As a producer myself, if I was to solo your mic, I'm pretty sure I could hear some monstrosities to the like of which that you will never, ever, 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 ever see again. But in context, with everybody else singing, it might not have sounded that bad. Everybody has had a less than shining moment on the mic as a singer. Everybody, no matter who it is. If you were to solo their mic, you would hear exactly what they sound like. Those of us who produce, you know that I'm telling the truth. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if the person recorded it and had the video and then just soloed her mic so everybody could hear how bad she sound. If that's what was done, I think that's foul. But she sounded out of breath. She was struggling. But man, I know that song, and you are being so generous tonight. I'm really being honest though, because I as a producer, I hear bad notes when I'm over here working. When I'm at this, you don't see it. My station is right here, right? When I'm working and I hear some stuff, I could write books about it. But in context, when everybody's singing and everything is going, you really don't hear as much. You do, but everybody is not Kurt Carr. Everybody doesn't have Kurt Franklin budget to get those kinds of singers. You do with what you working with, and sometimes you work with less than stellar talent, but in context with everybody else, it doesn't sound as bad as we just heard. That's just my opinion. And I mean, I'm speaking having worked on albums for over 20 years. So I'm thinking, am I gonna give you a pass for that, ma'am? No. I'm not gonna give you a pass. I know that was a pause, but I'm not gonna give you a pass. I'm just not, because you sounded pretty bad. I'm just being honest. But now, musicians, how many times has this happened to you?
Thank you. Hold your hands up a little bit. You reminded this young man, help me a little bit. I know you've been up, just hold your hands up a little bit. Help me with this monitor over here, would you, please? Turn this monitor around for me, if you don't mind, a little bit. Turn me up in it a little bit, I won't mess you up. Hallelujah. I don't know what to say after Jackie. I gotta ease my way in.
Pause.
You gave that I might be. You gave.
Stop. Did y'all hear the pause? That goes back to what I said. You're going to always hear a pause in church. I'm just going to ease in. Woo! Shout. Okay. Yeah, that's a major pause. I don't know where it is. There, I'm going to give it to you. There you go. All right, here we go.
That I might exchange your life for mine. How you don't know that? You live in Oakland. Let's forget it. Father, we thank you.
Okay, I got a lot to say about that, and I'm going to say it right now. I love playing in church. I do. I love playing in church. I love playing gospel music. I love it. I absolutely love it. But as much as I love gospel music, and I know quite a few songs, old songs, new songs, but I don't know every song. And I think it's incredibly unfair for preachers to come to churches expecting us to know every song that was ever written. Well, you need to know hymns. Which ones? There are many hymns. There are so many hymns that there's no way a musician has the time to learn every hymn written. And just because your hymn library is extensive doesn't necessarily mean ours is. And I think sometimes you guys come extremely, whoa. You guys are extremely tough on us when we don't know a song. I remember when I was younger, that was a long time ago, but when I was younger, Donnie McClurkin came to our church. And I believe my cousin was on the organ. And he sang some song that my cousin didn't know. And he kind of tried to go at him, and then he did it again somewhere else. And I hated that Donnie did that, and that's one of the things that I didn't like about Donnie McClurkin. He would go to your church, sing songs that you didn't know. These guys are 16, 17. They're not going to know old hymns before them. And it's not fair because we know you're not going to sing the up-to-date songs that we know. Because if we say, well, let's flip it, you need to know some songs to reach our generation. And that's one of the things I actually tried to do as a musician. I tried to understand what the younger ones was playing, and I tried to keep in touch with the older ones. I think I'm in a perfect space right now because I'm not too old where I can't understand the younger generation, but I'm not too young that I can't understand the older generation. I'm right here in the middle. I know church, but I know another side of music, which is funny because people think I only know church. That's not true. I don't know where you get that at. But yeah, and that's another thing, Jay Rosado. I think you should never get mad at a musician that you yourself didn't hire. Fuss at your musician. Oh, but he's not there. Why? Because you're probably not paying him. So you decided to go. Now, this is what I would say to my fellow musicians. Same thing I would say to that last one. If a preacher gets up in your church and he does that to you, you are within your right to get up off of that instrument and not make a scene, but just walk and sit down. And they say, where'd you go? Well, I'm not his musician. And you are within right to say, if he's going to come at me, pause, like this, then we need to talk compensation or something else, because that's disrespectful. See, we have been taught that it's one thing to be rebuked from the pulpit for something you did. You said something, you behaved in a certain way, you did something to somebody and you never repented. I can understand that. But just for you doing the best that you could and you didn't do what he thought you should, that means he put you on the spot. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. And I think that should end. Now, will it? Enough of you get up? It will. Now, some of you, like I got tough skin. I'll just be like, okay, whatever. But everybody doesn't have that. So if you know you have issues that you haven't dealt with, then maybe you should get off. That's your time to go to get you some water and never come back. Especially if your church is already done. And oh God, don't let it be, how sometimes we play for artists and they are the harmonics or what do they call it, sermonic solos or whatever, and you just happen to be sitting there. Oh no. And because what I've seen, a lot of churches, their musicians leave. And they leave you there to play out their service. Nah. You should be going too. Amen, lights and walls. Jason Voorhees has invited me to Camp Crystal Lake. You know Halloween is actually one of my favorite holidays, believe it or not. I love horror movies. I don't care what you super Christians say. I love horror movies. I loved them ever since I was a youngster. And which is weird because horror movies didn't scare me, but Rocky Balboa movies did. I used to be scared of Rocky. Well, yeah, I agree with you, Nicola. I mean, you're right. I'm gonna move this chat over here because I just think I need to move it. Move it over here somewhere. All right. But I agree with you. I do agree with you. But anyway, we are here. I can't do Doofus of the Week. I can't do Doofus of the Week because it's going to chop up. I can't wait to get my computer back. I'm thinking about building another one just specifically for this. Just build a power computer, a powerful work, almost like my mixing station, something like that, but just designated simply for doing live stream for you guys. I was scared of Rocky. Let me move this chat over just a little bit more. Yeah, I was absolutely scared of Rocky. Rocky scared the living bejesus out of me, y'all. I'm not even playing. Because when they did the slow down part, when he was getting hit, and you can see blood just shooting, Adrian, I just couldn't take it. I was like, my mom would laugh at me because I remember I saw Rocky 2 before I saw the first Rocky, right? And I remember going into my mom's room. I was way younger. Going into my mom's room. And then I was like, what is this? She said, oh, this is Rocky. I said, he's not going to do the slow down thing, is it? It's not going to do the slow down thing. That used to mess me up. So when Rocky 3 came out, Rocky 3, I'll never forget that. My father, God rest his soul, took us to see Rocky and Poltergeist, right? I sat through Poltergeist. I sat through Poltergeist, and I can't remember how old I was, but I sat through the original Poltergeist. But when Rocky 3 came on, I left the theater. Before the last fight, I left the theater. After the first fight, he did the slow down, and Mr. T knocked him out. I know that's weird, bro. I promise you. But when Mr. T knocked him out, right? Rocky did all that training and everything, got fast and everything. Right before the second fight, I left out the theater and did not come back. I did not come back in that theater. I was so scared. I thought it was going to do the slow down or whatever. So anyway, Halloween is still one of my favorite holidays. I just love horror movies. They don't scare me like some of you. Some of you scared at Chucky. I laugh at you. But I'll never forget that time Miss Lynn actually went to, what did we see? What movie was that I took her to see? Can't remember. But I took her to see this movie. What was the movie? Miss Lynn, what was the movie? I took her to see this movie. And Annabelle, that's what it was. And on the part of Annabelle, they was rocking, the doll was rocking like this. The chair was moving by itself, right? The chair was moving by itself. And it was a scary movie. Everybody in the movie theater was freaking out. Annabelle was messing everybody up, right? So she looked in the keyhole, and the chair was rocking by itself, right? And then the lady looked away. It was like, oh my God, his chair's moving. And then when she looked back, the doll was like, and the doll was rocking back and forth, looking at her. Now, everybody in the theater was like, Miss Lynn started laughing. Like a real chuckle. You cannot make this up. You cannot make it up. I promise you. I don't know if she watching, but yeah, that was just too much for me. Now, that's the one movies that get me. Y'all can put it in the comment section what scary movies actually scare you. You can put it in the comment section. But for me, the movie that messed me up, and I don't care, outside of Rocky movies, I don't care. And yes, Creed didn't mess me up because it didn't do the slowdown, but I thought it was going to be. What about the Saw sequels? They gruesome. I don't really think that they're scary like that. Candyman, the original, right. That is good. Candyman was decent. Man, she is. She cold-blooded, bro. Laughed at Annabelle. But Candyman was decent. But The Conjuring, particularly The Nun. Oh, yes. The original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, let me ask y'all the question. I know we're going to get moving, but since we're talking about horror movies, it is Halloween. But have you noticed that the scary movies now are not as creative as they once were? Back in the day, you had Freddy Krueger. I mean, my boy right here, Jason, the original Friday the 13th, especially like 3 and 4, and even a little bit of 6. Jason Takes Manhattan was so funny to me. I laughed at that one, but I loved him. Jason versus Freddy was good to me. Man, but Freddy Krueger was on something different. I even liked the original, what was that? Child's Play. I'm actually going to watch that when I'm done here. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch me some horror movies before I go to sleep. That's why I'm trying to rush through this. But Nightmare on Elm Street, it was a whole lot of them, man. I mean, I didn't really like the Leprechaun. That was stupid. It's quite a few of them that you could say, okay, it was crazy. Even some sci-fi ones could cross over into a horror, like Aliens and Alien, the original Alien, before it started getting stupid. You know, I don't really like sequels. It took me a long time to get over Freddy. Well, yeah, the first one. I'm your boyfriend now. Wait, do I have a voice here? Oh, yeah. I'm your boyfriend now. Dude, you cannot, the horror movies is lit. That's when you turn, now, some of y'all watch horror movies with the lights on or during the day. No, my best friend Stephanie would tell you, turn them lights off. Listen, it's going to mess you up because even though the house is settling, you're going to be like, what's that? What's that?
Oh my God, they're coming to kill me. They're coming to kill me. Oh no, don't kill me, Mr. Bad Guy.
It got worse and worse. I'm gonna. I know. I'm sorry, man, but I'm just saying, horror movies is just lit. I like horror movies. Horror movies are they're different, man. I mean, I like suspense movies. I like movies that make me think. As an intellectual, anything that can make this thing work and make me think. But people hate to watch those kind of movies with me because I figure them out right away. But still. Oh, let us not forget. Wait, I gotta post that. Look, you get one. Where are you at? I'm gonna give you that clap for that, Nicola. Listen, The Exorcism is the one. If The Exorcism, oh God, that will mess you up. Amityville Horror will mess you up. The originals, not these new ones. Man, oh, Pumpkinhead. Y'all remember Pumpkinhead? The Omen, I like Damien Part 2. The original with the kid, not so much. Part 2 did kind of mess me up a little bit. I was actually looking at my scalp to see if it was 666 because I was so freaking bad that I might not have been shocked if it was. Get you a baddie to watch the horror movies with. Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn was okay. See, y'all bringing out them good ones. So I see some horror movie heads here. Pause. But yeah, Wrong Turn was okay. Oh. I'm acting like a child now. But y'all, the original Jeepers Creepers. The original Jeepers Creepers. The first one, I used to love the song Jeepers Creepers as somebody like 1920s jazz music and stuff like that, the way they approach music, because one of my favorite songs is the Boogie Woogie, the harmony that they did back in those days. But Jeepers Creepers messed me up. I don't give a care what you say. Jeepers Creepers messed me up. What's that one with the thing when he threw the balls and they ripped through? Phantasm. Y'all remember Phantasm? Phantasm was on one. Man, there's so many great ones. I Know What You Did Last Night. You know what? It wasn't bad either. The new It wasn't bad. I didn't like It Part 2. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as the first It. It was no joke because Pennywise wasn't no joke. And y'all ready? Y'all ready? What was that movie with Mel Gibson? Here's Johnny. What's the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie? Here's Johnny. And they were in a hotel and he just kind of lost his mind. What was the name of that movie? Real quick, what was the name of that movie? Somebody tell me the name of that movie what was his name? Jack Nicholson. And he lost his mind. They were all in a hotel and blood come down the hall and he was being chased by this naked old chick from the bathroom and he just lost his mind. He got an axe and he killed this black dude. What was it? Oh, what was the name of that? The Shining. That's what it was. The Shining. Woo! The Shining will mess you up too. Yeah, you watch The Shining with the lights off. Yeah, that'll do. Puppet Master. Yep, that was another one. The Shining. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Shining was lit, man. Look, y'all gonna make me pull out my horror movies because I'm telling you, Halloween for me, as somebody that love horror movies, that's all I did. I watched them on the weekend when I was on a plane coming home. I watched this thing called the Cabinet of Curiosities. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. But the Cabinet of Curiosity is something I think you should check out. If you like horror movies, it's definitely a good watch. It's a binge-worthy series. It's eight episodes. I think you would like that. It's called the Cabinet of Curiosities, okay? But anyway, we're going to talk about this thing. Let's move on, y'all. I mean, because I could talk about that all night. But over the last few days, it's been a lot of stuff happening with your boy Ye. He's been canceled by everybody for his words that he said, okay? Me personally, I think, well, I'm going to show you what started it, what he said. And, oh, The Ring, yeah. Oh, yeah, The Ring. Oh, man, that movie messed me up. Scream was okay. It was okay. Halloween, of course, with Michael Myers. But we probably can get back to that, but let's get on that because y'all gonna make me want to go watch these movies. I am, I promise you. I promise you, I might be up late, but let's get through this. But Ye, now let me ask you a question before we go. Do you think Ye should have been canceled? Do you think he should have been canceled? Do you think this is something? Do you think this is an appropriate response for everything that he's done? Let me move this chat to a better place because I'm having a hard time reading everything because of my logo. Do you think he should have been canceled? I personally, well, let me see what you think first. Do you think he should have been canceled for what he said? That's what I want to know, which is why we're here. Yeah, Saul and Hostile. Got to check out Hostile. Can't leave out. You don't think he should have been, okay? Let me see. Let me wait for a couple more. Should he been canceled? Canceled, cut off, whatever, lost all his whatever. He lost all his lucrative deals, record labels walking sideways from him, and everything else. What Restream, I know that. Why would you have to tell me that? Thank you, Restream. Now, everybody, I'm using Restream. Okay, so some people feel like he should not have been canceled. This is what he said. He said, I'm sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, when you wake up, I am going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually the Jews also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who oppresses your agenda. He did it to get out of his contract because they were not moving his product. Had he left, he would have owed them a lot of money. Now he's about to do his own distribution. Kanye makes enough where he could have paid them off and still had a lot left over. I believe that. He didn't have to do this because this cost him more than what he would probably have owed them. He could have cut them a check. He can get out his deal anyway. And plus, Kanye, the way his deal is set up, from what I'm being told, is he makes a lot more money than an average artist on his own stuff. So I don't really think that that's what it was. I just think that this was him being Kanye. I mean, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine earlier about, he said Kanye is not crazy. I wouldn't say he's crazy. I believe he's narcissist. I believe he's narcissistic, and I believe he is a narcissist, which is indeed a problem. He didn't want to pay them anything. He's going to pay now. He's going to pay now, whether he wants to or not. He can't get out the deal. If he still owes them money, they still own his name, which is probably why he's going by Ye. I understand that, but I don't know if I think this is that. But DEFCON, it's really DEFCON, and DEFCON 3 is right in the middle. That means you have a heightened sense of alertness. That means you are expecting, or not necessarily expecting, but you're ready. You are a level of readiness that if something should happen, you're ready. It goes up, okay? DEF con, not DEATH con. I think that's when people saw that, that's what made them ring. Can we hear what a narcissist is? Shoot, most of us don't know what a narcissist is, but I can tell you attributes of a narcissist. Narcissists never admit that they're wrong. Narcissist makes everything about them. It's never going to be you. When it's bad, it's you. When it's great, it's them. When it's wrong, it's your fault. When it's right, it's my fault. It's on me. Everything is about me. They are the most non-sympathetic, empathetic people you ever can meet. They are borderline sociopaths. They can be. Narcissists are just that. But then again, I'm not a clinical psychologist, so you need to be diagnosed with this thing. But he does have attributes of it. He would probably tell you that. He needs to be humble. Narcissists, which is kind of weird because narcissists don't believe that they're wrong. But in this case, he may be gaslighting. I don't know. But that's what I believe, a narcissist. These are the attributes. Now, we can look up the definition, but I would love to have a clinical psychologist on here to tell us what it is. I believe he exhibits some attributes of narcissists. I do believe that because everything has to be about him. Everything. He always will play the victim. That is telltale signs of a narcissist. That's telltale signs. But I'm not here to beat up on Kanye, to believe it or not. What he did was wrong. What he said was wrong in that you can't say Jewish people. You could say the people that are running the company, the people that are pulling the strings. But if you're going to go, this is that freedom of speech thing again. You can say whatever you want to say, but there are consequences for what you say. And as somebody who's a black person in this country, you know there are certain things we cannot say. You cannot say certain things. Now, I'm not necessarily going to beat up on him, but let me correct some things. First of all, let's get to this. His own people have said he has had some, admiration for Adolf Hitler. So people have been saying one album he was actually going to name Adolf or Hitler. But he ended up naming it Yay or Jesus or whatever. But he was going to name it Hitler. He actually liked what Hitler was doing for his people. So people knowing this didn't help his cause. So because now they're talking. They're saying he did have, and it's not just one, it's a few people that said he had. Now, me, I don't know. I'm just presenting you what people are saying. They are saying he had some like for Hitler. And the funny thing is, those people who agree with him, they agree with him. There is another video that I didn't post, but I couldn't post it here because it was going to start acting choppy. But it's at a football game, and they were people saying Kanye was right about the Jews, not about the people running the show. Every Jew doesn't own anything. So for you to say the Jews, it's just like somebody putting one person that owns something and say, Kanye, this person was right, or Donald Trump was right about all black people. You just cannot say that. Okay. Oh, so he helping to rebrand? Well, he probably needs to rebrand. He probably does. But just certain things you just cannot say. And so for him to go here, he probably, and here's the thing, I'm going to get into something that you probably, Chris Terry, if you're watching, you probably going to love this. But for me, you have to learn how to be diplomatic. You cannot fight every battle. You have to understand how to play the game, and you play the game to win. You don't go, some things you need a scalpel and not a sledgehammer. You need to deal with things. Y'all love to say it's chess and not checkers. Well, in chess, you set your pieces where you need to be. If you are an aggressive player like I am, you set your pieces to attack. But you still have to set your pieces in place. You just don't move one pawn and then just let the queen run out, because what's going to happen is the queen is the best piece on the game. You're going to lose the queen, then you're going to lose the game. And that's what Kanye's doing. He got one, the E pawn is out, and the E queen is just jumping everywhere thinking she's going to just kill everything, and it doesn't work like that. This is chess. You have to play strategically. You have to place your pieces where they need to be, and then make your move and attack it, but you have to be able to readjust because they're trying to attack you too. Just because the black is on defense doesn't mean that they cannot execute an aggressive attack on their own. So if you are overextending yourself on this chessboard, you could be destroyed. Kanye doesn't get that. So I feel like sometimes he just goes on his emotions, his instincts, and sometimes his instinct is wrong. And you just say some things that is not strategic, and it gets you into a whole lot of trouble. Because here's the thing. You are more powerful with these people paying you money and you worth billions than you are right now. Because right now they have ostracized you. You have no power. And everybody else thinking you're crazy. This is not a power play to me. I don't think this is not a power. I don't think he cares either. But I don't think this is a power play. Real people who make moves, they strategize before they make moves. If they're going to do something like, I don't like him, but Vladimir Putin over there in Russia. If he's going to do something, trust me, he's thought about everything. He's not at that point where he's at desperation. He's trying to think, he know he's losing, but he's still thinking ahead. If I do this, this is going to happen. If I do this, this is going to happen. You can't just go out here and just do stuff because you never have to backtrack when it's planned. When it's strategic, you don't have to backtrack. It's part of your plan. You put this pawn here, you know if he takes, I'm going to do this. If he moves, I'm going to do this. If he sits still, moves another piece, then I'm going to progress. You just plan this stuff out. It's strategic. It's like chess. Well, here's my thing about narcissist. It's one word that you will never hear me say a lot. You won't hear me say it a lot because I think it's being overused. He was a narcissist. You don't even know what it is. And just because somebody displays attributes of a narcissist doesn't mean that they are. You have to be diagnosed with this. So you have to, a clinical psychologist or somebody, a professional, an expert has to look at you and say, he's a narcissist, he has it. That's the way this works. But everybody's calling him a I believe he exhibits. I do believe that because he keeps talking about himself, and the first thing he brings up is money, 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 because he ended up apologizing. First, check this out. He apologized to the quote-unquote Jews. Then he apologized to the family and George Floyd.
And I question the death of George Floyd. It hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now. So,
and I'm going to stop this real quick. I wish he had not said that. Because your money, them walking away from your endorsements is not the same as somebody losing their life. You lost a little piece of your livelihood. You still have enough that most people will never, ever see in their life. So I don't agree with you. I think that this was a horrible analogy. This is why people love to say Kanye is this. Let's go. I'll continue. Well,
I question, because how could the richest black man ever be humble other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah. Okay, that's why I ended that. No, it means to get. I wish Kevin was here. Kevin Hayden, he knows it better than me. But from what I've been able to find, it's just meaning getting to a position of readiness. But last I checked, Jewish people are not trying to attack us. They're not trying to attack you. Not us as general, not as a people. What you said about George Floyd, you said in ignorance. And you said it because it was one of those things that you did not think through. That's my point. He did not think that through, and you cannot do that. You cannot do that, just like he didn't think this through. To the Floyd family, I apologize to you and the black community. Why is it the black community? Why you couldn't say to my community or our community? It's like you want to be positioned somewhere where you are not. But anyway, for my comments on Drink Champs, that was what he said about George Floyd and the fentanyl. Humbly, he writes, wasn't humbly, come get Roxy before she messes up y'all money. The Bible is the umbilical cord. Stay connected. What? So you're probably wondering, what is this talking about? Wait, who is Roxy? Roxy is George Floyd's baby mama, who is suing him for $250 million for what he said on said show, because she's suing him for defamation, because it did draw into question what the right-wing conspiracy theorists, nutcases, have been saying, that he was going to die of fentanyl, but somebody's foot on his neck wasn't the same thing. But here's the problem. If the foot on the neck was not killing George Floyd, why would you turn around and then say they got their foot on your neck because they're taking their money from you? So which one is it, brother? Is the foot on the neck, was it legit, or was it the fentanyl? You never even said you believed that it was the fentanyl. You just said, I hurt my community. I hurt the black community. No, you were wrong. Misinformation is the issue. It's the biggest issue we're having right now, where you're able to get online and have freedom of speech, but you're not able to lie on people and discredit their names by putting out false information. That's where you messed up. And you never, the first point of repentance is admitting that you were wrong. I should not have said this. It was the foot on the neck. Because then here's the thing. Somebody can say, well, they really ain't got their foot on your neck. Because that's what you said about George Floyd. He really have his foot on his knee on his neck like that. And his comment was based on, by somebody that doesn't even like us. By Candace. But that's what I'm saying. That's why when people say he's smart, he's a genius, he's this, geniuses don't do that. Geniuses don't fall for traps like that. That smart people don't do that. They don't walk into every trap. They don't. Let's see what he said about the baby mama. Here we go. To Roxy Washington alone, I gave $2 million out my pocket for the family to help George's daughter, your daughter. I can guarantee that most of these people that came after me after my comments didn't do that. Even with the $1 million in the bank, how much did Black Lives Matter give? Many gave words, I acted. Now because of words, you want to sue me for $250 million. I'm going to lose. What I'm going through is an economic lynching, a digital lynching, a social credit score bankrupting. You either being controlled or you being greedy, but you better get you some business before God get mad. This is how you try someone who was there for you and your family. You will never get money from no one else. God don't like ugly, like your MFing hat. Like your MFing hat. You know, where you at, Kevin? Where you at, brother?
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. The foot on the neck should never been used. It's a horrible analogy. It's a horrible analogy. Because in this instance, when you're talking about George Floyd, you're talking about death. That's what you're talking about. Death. You can't put, because if you're looking at it from a literal sense, from literature, you bring up George Floyd and the foot on the neck, that equals death. So if you're going to bring up an analogy like that, you're basically saying they're killing you too, which they're not. Let's be real. Where does black come from? Where does it go? Huh? Said she doesn't get down with black community. She never said us. Let's be real. I don't understand what you mean by that. I don't understand what you mean. But that's why he loses me with that. Because he'll do one thing, he does one thing, and then he'll come back and do something else. That's where he loses me. And then I got people all in my inbox, all on my page, talking about, well, you need to leave Kanye alone. He's a great musician. What are you doing? He make more money than you. And I got a question for you that I asked you before. When you pray to Kanye, do you pray to the east? Do you face east? Or do you face the west? When way you worship him, tell me which way you worship. Because you dang near will defend him to your last dollar. My heroes didn't do stuff like this. My heroes, they thought before they talked. No, you're saying he's a genius. You're saying he's a genius. One thing I know about geniuses, they make contributions to human society. They make contributions to humankind. Albert Einstein was a mathematician, scientist. All these people, they actually did something that helped progress us to another level. Music can do that to a certain degree, but not necessarily. Most of the people on that list were scientists, mathematicians, electricians, engineers, people like that. They were geniuses. They were thinking to progress the human race to another level. For some reason, we still haven't progressed because we're still here talking about color. Even Martin Luther King was deemed to be a genius with his ways, how he could talk to people and how he could relate to people. They called him a genius. Black is not a race. But we know what it means, though. Scrutinize, we know what it means to be black. And it's almost like we're splitting hairs. Now we want to be semantically right. It's not black. Then what would you call us? Whatever you want to call us, you better believe it doesn't matter what we deem ourselves to be. Because if you are flaunting yourself on right-wing media all the time, bashing us, talking about us, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. You cannot be for us and you do that. One thing that Kanye did that I absolutely hated is when he went out there to Utah to this meeting and had some things to say about, you can say what you want about Black Lives Matter. I said the last time Kevin was right. He was. But last I checked, I don't see Kevin going nowhere. When he talk, he's talking to us. When the people talking, he's talking to us. Never should you go, when you have a family issue, you don't go to the people that don't like your family, bashing your family. You just don't do that. And that's my issue. So I don't really give a falcon what Candace or what they call themselves not being, because I'm interested to know what they call themselves then. Since they're not calling themselves black, I don't believe in calling myself black, but I accept it because guess what? That's what's on the thing. When you click, it says black or African American. There is what you click other. I mean, we know what that means. Let's not get into semantics here. And I think that's the way that they spin it to circumvent the real issue. To go around, well, I'm really not black. I don't identify as black. Then what are you, ma'am? Then what are you, sir? Because whatever you are, they showing you one thing's for sure. You are not them. You are not them. And another thing he said, when he said slavery is a choice. When he said, wait, what he said? What does it mean we're calling ourselves black? Because this world indoctrinates too. I hate that crap. I wanted the truth. Everybody has the culture. We stuck on color. I get that. I'm welcoming you to tell me what we should call ourselves. I would happily agree. Whatever you think. What should we be? The Rainbow Bright Coalition? I mean, what should we be? I know what you're saying. But what should we be? Because you ostracize people like Umar, who says we shouldn't call each other black. When one of my heroes, Marcus Garvey, when he was trying to get us to call ourselves something, people didn't get with that. So I'm open to whatever you want to call, but whatever it is, they don't represent that, because you cannot be that and parade around with your oppressors while you denigrate the people that you are supposed to be with. That's what this is about. I don't give a falcon about the name. I don't give a falcon about that. I'm talking about how you can go to Fox News, and then notice what Fox News does. They can't openly go against us. They can't openly get on there and say anything about us. So you know what they do? They send somebody like Candace on there to speak, or Stacey Dash, because it makes it look so, it's got to be real. It's coming from one of them. So what is one of them? What do we define that as? That's what I'm asking. Okay, we're not going to be black. What are we calling ourselves now? Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized. What are we calling ourselves? They use the semantics to cancel. Yes, they are. They make the rules. Can we change them? We can't change them with our people always running to the other side, but I'm going to get there. Since we here, when he said slavery was a choice, that messed me up. Why didn't he get canceled for that? Because nobody cares, but we're going to get to that. When he said slavery is a choice, what you don't know, he made some things about this woman. In case you don't know who this is a younger version of Harriet Tubman. This is probably what she looked like, and is what she looked like when she was actually, quote unquote, freeing the slaves. Some people have as many as 700. Most scholars think it was roughly close to 300. But if it was 300 around that time, when you do the math, that was 0.075%. Less than 0.01% was the people that she freed. Why didn't the others go? That's a good question. Because she said if she would have freed 1,000, but it still wouldn't have made a dent when it was over 3 million. You say slavery was a choice. Slavery was, it was a choice. Everything is a choice. Because this person didn't believe slavery. He didn't want to be a slave no more. He wanted to do something about it. But did you not know, along with his there were over 312 known slave revolts, since we say slavery was a choice. 300, over 300 revolts, and they all failed. Name one revolt that actually worked. Name one. I think some people did escape, but overall, those slave revolts all ended in a bloodbath with people getting their heads chopped off, they getting disemboweled, they getting hung from trees. So when the other slaves see this, they're saying, look, the other side is death. The other side is living in this slavery and surviving. That's not much of a choice. See, why you sit up and say slavery is a choice, you haven't done your research. They did not want to be slaves, but the other alternative was to die. So if you got a family, you got children, you got a wife, and you know you're going to die, you want to see your wife. You say, okay, we can bear this. We'll just deal with it, which is what your ancestors learned to do. They learned to persevere through this hard time. But to say that slavery was a choice was very wrong. And guess what? Nothing happened. No people walked away from them. Nobody said anything. Now, I get that. I get that we should. We should do our own DNA test. I believe that. But yeah, so when he said slavery is a choice, so let me ask you, if your choice was to die, because they all pretty much ended pretty bad. Even this man that I admire, wives let the fathers die. Why? Well, I mean, are we gonna spend it to that degree? It still doesn't change the fact. The point is, was slavery a choice? That's what I want to know. Let's not red herring. Let's not do the straw man here. Was slavery a choice? To say slavery was a choice, was that inaccurate? That's what I want to know. Was that inaccurate? That was wrong to say. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. And my biggest issue is not now. Let's go. You are allowed to say what you want to say. You are. I mean, people loving talking about that. Oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. I get that. And this person almost made Tufus of the week. She says, laughing at Kanye for being taken off Forbes, but you a cashier at Wendy's for 12 years. It's crazy to me. This is my issue with some of us. We romanticize celebrities based off of their financial statuses. So because somebody is rich, we feel like they can say whatever and do whatever, and we're just supposed to just take it. You know, we just deal with it, right? In this regard, this is dumb. Super-de-duper dumb. It's dumb. Because it doesn't matter. You could be rich and still be stupid. You could be rich and still be evil. Some of them, even Adolf Hitler was very wealthy and he was evil. Donald Trump is wealthy and he's stupid. It's a lot of people. Money should not define your character. Just because somebody has money doesn't mean that they are worth everything better than you as far as character, dignity. Those things should matter. Or does it only matter if you got money? And so I've been noticed a lot of idiots been saying, well, he has money, you don't. So you would just listen to him because he has money. Well, you got to do something right. He makes good music. But I would never follow him to a nuclear facility. Look, I'm going to build something. Boom. Take care, Nicola. That's what I'm saying. I just can't get my mind around it. That we have become so in love with celebrities just because they're celebrity. If he was a regular person, we wouldn't have this conversation. We would not have this conversation. But because he has money, everybody wants to defend this foolishness. Learn what battles to fight. Dave Chappelle is a good example of that. He's very good with his words. He's very strategic. He knows what he can say. He knows what not to say. He knows when not to give a falcon, and he knows when to pull back. That's how you play the game. Wait. No, wait. Jesus made flip. What made Jesus flip the table? You gotta make that make sense for me, bro. You gotta make that make sense for me. And so check this out. Somebody else left this. Does she have a point? She's talking about Yeezy, right? I don't know who this person is. She's a college kid. Black people, if we're canceling Kanye for being harmful to us, then we also need to cancel female rappers who promote WAP and Super Freaky Girl, BDE, I don't know what that is, City Girl Culture, I know what that is, male rappers who brag about taking lives and selling dope. Are we selective in our outrage? We're not, but we're talking about one thing. One thing you will learn over here is how to argue. You cannot deflect. That's a red herring. That's a straw man. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this issue right here. We're talking about this issue. I'm thinking we're talking about this issue. I just hate that we do that. Now, y'all ready for the spin? What Kanye said wasn't wrong. I just don't like that he generalized, but what he said wasn't wrong. So you ask me, Derek, how do you feel about what he said? I don't care. I don't care that he attacked them. Let me explain why. He's just like you were able to have your free speech, and I showed you what your free speech could be earlier. Now everybody want to go at Kanye, and they actually wanted to go at Kyrie Irving, that I'm going to get into in a minute. But what I feel about it, let me show you something, and I'm going to tell you what I feel about it.
Since 2006, about 60,000 Africans have arrived in Israel on harrowing treks through the Sinai Desert, fleeing poverty, persecution, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. As refugee camps across Africa fill up and Europe closes its gates to asylum seekers, Israel became the next best option, accessible by land and said to be a developed democracy. But instead of providing them with safe haven, Israel is both refusing to grant them any benefits and denying them the ability to work legally to support themselves. Faced with poverty and exploitation, a new nightmare unfolded.
עדיין לא מאוחר, אפשר מחר לעשות מעשה, להתחיל לאסוף את המסתננים, לא צריך לחכות לבג"ץ, לא צריך שום דבר.
אני רואה חרא מחוץ לבית שלי, יריקות, פסיכופטים, אנשים שרק מחפשים איך לרצוח אותי בעיניים שלהם, אבל אף אחד לא מאמין לנו. אנחנו גזענים כדי לרצות לשמור על החיים שלנו ועל השפיות שלנו. אז אני גאה בלהיות גזענית, אם אני גזענית בשביל לשמור על החיים שלי, אז אני גאה.
While protests raged in the streets against the presence of asylum seekers from Africa, the man who held the power to determine their fate, Deputy Prime Minister Eli Yishai, demanded their expulsion.
אם ייתנו לי את כל הכלים, ואני פועל להשיג את כל הכלים, וזה לא קל. אם ייתנו לי את כל הכלים בלי יוצא מן הכלל, תוך פחות משנה לא יישאר בארץ ישראל אפילו מסתנן אחד.
And the few isolated Israelis who dared to protest, like this woman, were met with harsh backlash.
לכי את והוא! תלכי מפה! תלכי! את תשועה עם קושי, לכי! לא מתביישת!
So let's come back. What do I feel? Let me tell you. I was on Facebook when I first logged on, when I first created a page, when it was called D Music Man. I was in the group because I like conversing with people. I like, hearing other ideas and dialogue. And that's not what Kyrie saw. I'm gonna get to that. But I remember having a conversation with somebody that identified himself as Jewish. And he pretty much told me, called me everything. He ran down every stereotype, said I live on my mama's basement, I'm ghetto, I'm a drug dealer, I don't work, I'm lazy. He pretty much did that. And he wasn't the only one. Some other Jews got up in that comment section and pretty much went at me because they didn't agree with my take on what they felt about what was going on in Chicago at that time. See, grandma is right here. Perfect example. I need somebody to block that person. You see? Y'all seeing this happen right here. I'm glad this happened. Thank you. Thank you, Grandma. I'm glad that we can see. Thank you. You pretty much making my point for me. That you felt like you can come on here and demonstrate what we already know. That you are allowed, that you feel free, that you can come on my page and say that. Somebody please block this woman. Grandma has lost her mind. Because, but thank you. I appreciate it. Let's give Grandma a hand. Let's give her a hand. You displayed everything. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anything else? Somebody please block Grandma. But y'all see what I'm saying here. Do I need to continue? Do I need to continue? So, anyway, can somebody please block Grandma? I need her off here. But anyway, I'm going to continue. Anyway, so what happened here, what you just saw is what I'm saying. When you are saying stuff like this and you're demonstrating this stuff, then guess what? Again, guess what? Guess what you see? You are allowed to do this. But at the second you want to cancel Kanye for saying, but now you're seeing demonstration of what people like me have to go through and have to be and just chin up and bear it. What Kyrie did wasn't anti-Semitic. He didn't even say it's anything anti-Semitic. He posted a video that said that so-called African Americans are the original Hebrew Israelites. That's all that video. I watched it, which is one of the reasons why I started a little later. I watched that video. And he was just pretty much saying how he came to that realization. How he came to that realization that they are the original Hebrew Israelites. But I'm glad. Now you can't see what you're saying, Grandma. Who gets the last laugh? But now you see what I'm saying. Do y'all understand? Only thing I have a problem with Kanye is you said some things. You may not like NAACP. You may not like the UNIA. You may not like the Black Lives Matter movement. You may not like them. But you go and change it from within. You don't go to the enemy and disparage and denigrate those people. That's all I'm saying. That was my biggest issue, that you did that in front of them so you could get them all riled up. You could get them all riled up. And so we, as people like me, we are not allowed to do what Grandma did. We're not allowed to say anything like that. We're not allowed to even have a voice of opinion. All Kyrie did was share the title of a book or a movie that said in it that blacks are the original Hebrew Israelites. That man said nothing disparaging about nobody. He just said that originally when you look at the books and you look at the movies, you see them Jews, they don't look like us. They don't look like people of color. That's all it said. Now, whether you agree or not, that's on you. But that's all it said. It was nothing hateful speech on there. But now everybody's saying it's hateful speech. Can you please make that make sense for me? See, this thing goes deeper than just Kanye. We're looking at Kanye, we say, oh, look at Kanye, he's crazy. And you may be halfway deep, right? I always say, he missing a couple of spade cards, but a broken clock is right twice a day. It's right. I got a Victor watch over there that I've never worn, stuck at 10:15. Roughly 10:15. So every day, twice a day, that watch that I never wear is correct. Spot on. Kanye is right about a lot because he knows the industry. I know a little bit about it. It's the same even on gospel side. The industry is wicked. The industry is ran by a certain group of people. It's wrong to put them all in that same bunches. That same bunch, they don't all belong there. But we get what you were going, bro. My only issue is that you did that in front of others. But now we got something else, a deeper issue. Because the thing that nobody even thought about is, why has it been for so long that you can say whatever you want about us? And I'm going to tell you why. Because for every time somebody says something anti-Semitic or something about the LGBTQ XYZ over the square root of 4, anytime you say, and now it's turning to anything a man says about a woman, you could be canceled, you could be criticized, you could be anything. But the reason why people do that to us and get away with it, because every time somebody like Candace or Kanye does it, there's many people who look like you and I that will stand up for them and say, and give excuses for them and still buy their stuff and still support them the same way y'all did R. Kelly. What he did was despicable. What he did was wrong. But you still have people online saying, I'm going to buy his record. You still have people saying, oh, it's free R. Kelly. You still have people that look like us still supporting him, still defending him. As long as that happens, nobody will take you seriously because you don't make moves, because they should be just as scared to say anything about us like they are any other group, but they don't, because they laugh at you, because every time something happens, they know one of you gonna defend it. So they have no reason to. He could get on there and say George Floyd and all this other conspiracy theory junk that they've been saying. They can say all that all day on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, and Twitter is a hell case right now, but they can do it right now. Why? Because they know you, some of you, because you love their fame, you love their riches, they know you're going to defend it. You're going to say, oh, get off of him, leave him alone, I'm still going to buy his shoes, and that's why. And for those of you fools that think Adidas just let them go and they're losing money, unlike Kanye, those people think about what's going to happen once they do things. They thought about what would happen. They didn't just wake up one morning and say, we're going to let them go. This is what's going to happen if we let them go. This is a potential thing that can happen. Let's weigh the pros and the cons, and then let's make a move. And that's what happens with us. Because here we are in 2022, and we can never see eye to eye on a god-doggone thing. Even the things that's most despicable, we can't agree on. We got some black people still out here thinking, I'm going to vote for Orange Man. We can't even agree that this man is an idiot. You will still defend him. Make it make sense for me, people. And that's why. Because like this idiot that showed up on my page, there will be somebody, well, maybe they going through something. When are we ever going to stand together as a unity and make people fear us? They come pander to us when they want our votes. So when are we ever going to stand together and say, okay, enough is enough? We want you scared of us just like everybody else. We've shown that we can raise money. We're the #1 consumer group in this country. But as long as we continue to let Candace and Kanye West do this stuff and say stuff, and Stacey Dash is going to be another one. As long as we let them do that and there's no repercussion for the stuff that they say and the talking points. For example, when the Republicans take over and they say we're going to be tough on crime, what do you think they're thinking when they say tough on crime? What actually? No, I'm not talking about petty joy. And that brings me to another point. Since we here, Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked. Her husband was attacked, right? Check this out. This dude leaves this. There's a teeny possibility there might be more to the story that meets the eye. Some right-wing decided to post this. The awful truth. You know what they tried to say about Nancy Pelosi's husband? You know what they tried to say? The article claimed without evidence that Pelosi was drunk at the time of the assault and in a dispute with a male prostitute. You cannot make this up. The misinformation that y'all saying pedophile. Show me one instances where a court case was found where Joe was found guilty or even indicted on pedophilia. You can't, this is what I mean. You have the freedom of speech, but you can't just make stuff up without proof. And one thing I can say about you orange people, you maggots, you mega morons, you love to push out your conspiracy theories, but you don't have any evidence. When the court tells you it's not true, it's not true. It's not true. That was your joke from Hillary Clinton's tweet. No, it wasn't. He took it down, but we both know, do we need to go back to January 6th? Some people take that stuff seriously, bro. Or sis, or whoever you are. No, they wouldn't get Sleepy Joe because you need this thing called evidence. It's evidence. Just like they couldn't find Hillary Clinton's emails. They didn't find anything. You need evidence. You know, like the evidence they're finding on 45, that's evidence. He's not going to be indicted for, you really think that they're going to indict that dude if they ain't got nothing on him? He's going to court. It was just today. That's evidence. You shouldn't be able, that's the point. We taking this freedom of speech thing and we feel like we can just do and say whatever we want to say. And I think that that's unfair. Okay, where's your proof, C-Rod? Where's your proof? Show me, I need you to post the article from a reputable source. From a reputable source that has the data that says she deleted them. If you don't have it, then you can shut that falcon. If you don't have it, I got something for you here since you here. Let me bless you with some of my little jokes that I actually put together for my people. You ready? If you don't have it, shut the if you don't have it, that's what I need. I'm not that person. I need evidence. I'm not that person. I don't go by what people were saying. Well, this person said that. This person said that. You need evidence for me. If there's no evidence, just like I can't call you an idiot unless you demonstrate it, you need evidence. No, I don't think who are they? Covering for who? For what? For what reason? She didn't delete anything unless you got the evidence. That's what I want. I don't want no more. We're done unless you got the evidence. That's the only thing I need from you right now. It's just the evidence. I don't want you pleading. I don't want you doing any special pleading or any other fallacy you want to present right now. Give me the evidence. There is evidence on Trump. Are you serious? What do you think they took from Mar-a-Lago? Comic books? Are you serious? Lord. Okay, I need my people on this one too. Man, where do you people come from? What do y'all smoke? No, before y'all delete them, what is the name of the drug that you smoke? Can I have it? I could use it right now. Because after next week, I'm going to need something, a drink or something. Maybe you can treat on our drinks. And then we can share over the drinks how you know that they deleted those emails. Unbelievable. But what y'all think? What y'all think about this Kanye? That's what I want to know. Do you see where I'm going with it? I don't think Kanye was wrong. He feels like he feels. I just don't think you should say everything, especially when you know, if you feel like you are a target, why would you make it bigger? That's the only thing I'm saying. I think what he said was wrong when he said during DEF CON, but if he said DEF CON, yeah, you kind of pushed it with that. But anyway, what do y'all think? Tell me what you think after you delete C-Rod. Boom. Okay. I don't know what that means. I really don't. But I just think that we need to think about these things. You know, I think it's always good when you are in the public limelight like that. You just need to be more strategic in the battles that you're going to fight. That's what I think. I think the battles that you fight today, you need to make sure that it makes sense when we read about it tomorrow. If you're going to fight battles, you need to have a plan on how you're going to fight it all the way to the end, to the last man. I don't think you should get on social media saying stuff like, oh, DEF CON and everything else. You can send it to my inbox. You can, I mean, you know, attach what? I mean, I don't want any right-wing stuff. If it come from goobers.com or something like that, or some org or something like that, I want it to be reputable. What that means, I need it to be a government document, a paper trail that from a law file, transcripts, anything like that. You can even do some scholastic data if you assuming that you know how to find it. Something like that. I don't do magazines unless it's from a reputable source, even if it's Fox News. But it better be reputable. You can't just say they believe. No, just like they went in and found documents in Mar-a-Lago that should not be there. Just like they went and got people to testify against them about their fraud cases, just like they're doing in Georgia. That's what I need. If you got proof that Joe is a pedophile, I need the court documents. That's the only thing for Joe. Give me the court documents. I want to know who filed in court that he did something like that. He can express, Chris, you know, the thing is he can express his beliefs. He can. And I don't agree that what they're doing for Kanye. I mean, for Kyrie. I believe he can express that he believes that blacks are the Hebrew Israelites. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I believe it is a double standard, but it's always been that way for us, though, Chris. You know that. And you said, I'm posting all evidence. What evidence? I mean, maybe I'm not seeing it. When I get off of here, I'll go over there. If you posting clips or whatever, you know, I'm going to look at them. Strings is weird. I don't post on those, you know, if it takes me to a site that's not secure, because I know how this works. I actually have a master's in cybersecurity, so if I see a weird string behind it, if it's not coming from a place that I recognize, I'm not going. But I'll check and see if you posted evidence. But if it's all bill shift, then I'm gonna know it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be. I'm almost positive it's going to be some bullshit. I promise you. Because if it was the Republicans had the House and the Senate for years. If it was something on Hillary, they would have been brought her. They were actually in House and Senate before the 16 elections were done. They would have gotten her a long time ago. What articles from the FBI and ABC News? I'm going to see it. What did you post them? That's the only thing I need you to present. Post them. I will see them. I'm not there now. The system that I have right now, I can only see me and I see your comments. She got pulled. That's more, dude. That's more argument from ignorance. I don't care what pull she has. You either bring me the documents, the evidence, or this conversation is over. Because that's the only thing I'm concerned with. It seems like you guys want to just throw out, okay, let me ask you this. Do you believe, okay, I don't see it. I'm not on YouTube right now. I'm not using YouTube like that. I'm using Restream and I'm using my broadcasting system. That's why. But let me ask you this question, C-Rod, while you're here. Do you think, you know what? Do you want to come on this show? Would you like to debate me on here? Would you like to come on? I would love to have you on here. Would you like to come on and express your things? I would love to have you on here. I think it would be very interesting. I will post the link. I'll give you a chance, but let me ask you a question before that. Do you believe the election was stolen? Do you believe that the election was stolen? That's what I want to know. Do you believe that Joe Biden won the election fair and square? That's what I want to know. Which brings me to this. I don't need to say anything, but the people that are saying that the election was stolen, people, go and look where they say it was stolen. Go look at the cities where they said, the counties where they say it was stolen. And then right after that, I want you to go look at the demographics of the areas where they said the election was stolen. That's what I want you to do. I'm not saying anything. I just want you to see the data. Go and look at the data. What they're saying, they said the election was stolen. Hillary has major pull. You don't find it odd that all the left-wing media said the same thing, which turned out to be false. What did they say? But let me be honest with you. I'm independent. I don't like the Democrats or the Republicans, so I can put that out there right now. I'm more central. I'm vote policy. I voted for Republicans here locally, so I'm not the one to say, "Oh, you a lefty" or whatever. No, I'm a real conservative. I guess you could say what the Conservative Party used to be. I don't know what they are right now. I think it's all a sham. I think I wouldn't argue that, Hillary. I wouldn't argue that, Chris. I think it's all a sham. But one thing, I know one thing. Here, it appears one group of people was putting it out there for everybody to see. They don't even care. The left never said the election was stolen. When? That was never even a challenge. Hillary conceded. Maybe a day later, but she did concede. When did Trump concede? I mean, that's more false information. There wasn't even a recount in 2016. There was no filing that we knew of. There was no filing in courts. There was nothing like that. Show me the data. Show me the data. Show me where there was a wide range of people saying that it was stolen. No, they didn't know that he won. Wait, you talking about the Russia thing? Russia did interfere in our election. I'm sure you read the Mueller report, or did you not read it? Now we can say that part. I agree with you, but I read the Mueller report, and they actually really did try to interfere in our election. I don't know about all that. Did they go up in the Capitol and defecate on the walls? Did they do that much? Did they break in and look for all the Republicans and try to hang them? Did they kill cops in there? Did they go to the floors and rip up everything? Did they do that? And did Hillary Clinton get in the mic and tell them to go over there and march down? So I guess there is a difference. I guess there's a line that they won't cross. So I guess the Democrats are not that dumb. They're not going to cross that line. But when that line surely was crossed a couple of years ago, that line was crossed. Now, I don't really trust that dossier. And I never really did anyway. I don't care for 45. I never did. I didn't like him before he ran, so I was confused why people thought he'd be a good choice. But you made your choice. But I didn't. When that dossier came out, I was like, it's too shaky, and none of that stuff was proven. See what I'm saying? None of the stuff was proven. So I'm that person that I don't care what you say to me. If it's not any tangible data to go with it, then I'm not. He didn't tell them to go break in. He just told them to go down there. That's what I said. Now, he knew that they were armed. He knew they were armed. He knew. They told him there's documented evidence, text messages, emails that told him they were armed. He did not care. He did not care. He knew they were there for him. He knew they wouldn't hurt them. So you say, Lord Jesus, I love y'all. Y'all, I love you Trump supporters. Y'all never cease to amaze me. This man could piss in your face and call it rain, and you would drink it just the same. I never really could understand why you would think that this man he's so truthful when he's lied his whole life. I never could really think, I mean, come on, man. I mean, use your eyes. You want me to use common sense for Hillary? Then I want you to use your common sense for this. He tells you he knows people down there armed. He knows. The Proud Boys don't come anywhere not armed, and so does the Oath. You know who the Oath Keepers are? Do you ever see them unarmed? No. They were armed. He knew it. And it's all going to come out. I'm still waiting on the Hillary thing. Have they found those emails yet? Anyway, I'm about to jump off of here. It was fun debating with you. Tons of evidence showing that people walking in the building. Okay. But they had weapons. Just Black Lives Matter never walked in there. And last I checked, they got tear gassed. Where was the tear gas on January 6th? Where was the tear gas on January 6th? You love, I can see right now you love conspiracy theories, and that's wonderful. Summer 2020. Where was the tear gas on January 6th? That's what I want to know. Why wasn't no tear gas used then? And let me ask you this question before I go. Had Black Lives Matter tried to infiltrate that building, would there have been so much restraint? It would have been bullets. It really would have been. But I'm about to jump off of here anyway. So, guys, next week, my computer will be back. Yip, yip, yay. I'm still going to do the show on where was the fire burning in Black. What's that got to do with anything? This has nothing to do with this, though. I mean, we agreed that happened. Yeah, that happened. Okay. But this proves my point to a whole host of things. You love to bring this stuff up. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about January 6th that you keep turning around on. Anyway, I'm about to jump off of here, y'all. Thank y'all. They killed people. No, they didn't kill people. Who did they kill? I remember the buildings burning. I don't know if you know, but I live close to that. Well, not necessarily that close, but it's over by where my church is. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm about to jump off of here. And next week we'll start on something new. Okay, I really got to go. I got to take care of some things. But okay, if you say so, C-Rod. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.